Welcome, friends, to this time of reflection together. It's a privilege to share these moments with you. Today, we're going to consider a truth that, while sometimes challenging to embrace, is profoundly comforting and ultimately for our good. We're going to talk about the sometimes painful, but necessary, process of God removing certain people from our lives. Now, before we delve into this, let me be clear. This isn't about bitterness, or judgment, or wishing ill upon anyone. Far from it. This is about understanding the divine hand at work in shaping our lives, and guiding us towards His purposes. And sometimes, that guidance involves a separation from those who are hindering our journey. You see, we live in a complex tapestry of relationships. Some are woven with threads of joy and mutual growth, while others, sadly, can become tangled, restrictive, even damaging. And sometimes, in His infinite wisdom and love, God intervenes in that tapestry. Think of it, if you will, like a gardener tending to a plant. The gardener carefully prunes away branches that are diseased, or that are preventing the healthy growth of the main stem. It might seem harsh to the casual observer, but the gardener knows that this pruning is essential for the plant to flourish, to bear fruit, to reach its full potential. In a similar way, God, the ultimate gardener of our souls, sometimes prunes away relationships that are hindering our spiritual growth, that are pulling us away from His path, or that are simply not meant to be a permanent part of our journey. So, how can we recognize this divine pruning? How can we understand why God might remove certain people from our lives? One of the most significant reasons God might remove someone is if that relationship is actively hindering your walk with Him. Perhaps they are constantly pulling you towards things that are contrary to your faith. Perhaps their influence is causing you to compromise your values, to doubt God's promises, or to neglect your spiritual disciplines. Lewis, I believe, would point to the insidious nature of certain influences. These aren't always overtly evil. Sometimes they are simply distractions, pulling us away from the quiet voice of God. They might be well-meaning, even loved ones, but if their presence in your life consistently makes it harder for you to draw closer to Christ, then it's possible that God, in His mercy, is creating a separation. This isn't about judging their character. It's about recognizing the effect a relationship has on your spiritual trajectory. Are you moving closer to God or further away because of this connection? If the answer is the latter, be open to the possibility that God is at work. Each of us has a unique path to walk, a unique purpose that God has laid out for us. And sometimes, certain individuals, while perhaps not malicious, are simply not meant to walk that path with you in the long term. Their presence might be a detour, a distraction, or simply a mismatch for the direction God is taking you. Lewis often spoke about the importance of understanding our individual callings. Not everyone is meant for the same journey. And just as a ship needs a clear course to reach its destination, we too need clarity and focus on the path God has set before us. If you find yourself constantly being pulled off course by a particular relationship, if it's consuming energy and time that could be spent pursuing your God-given purpose, then it's possible that God is gently, or sometimes not so gently, guiding you away from that connection. It's not a judgment on the person, it's a redirection for you. Sadly, not all relationships are healthy. Some can be sources of consistent pain, manipulation, or even abuse. In these situations, God's desire for your well-being is paramount. He is not a God who wants to see His children suffer unnecessarily. Lewis understood the reality of evil in the world and its impact on human relationships. While forgiveness is a cornerstone of our faith, forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation or continued close proximity. Sometimes, for your own safety, healing, and emotional well-being, distance is necessary. If a relationship is consistently causing you deep pain, eroding your self-worth, or putting you in harm's way, be assured that God is not indifferent to your suffering. He may be actively working to create a separation, to remove you from that harmful environment so that you can begin to heal and find peace. Sometimes, God removes certain people, not just for your protection or redirection, but to make space for the people He does intend for you to walk with. Think of it like clearing out clutter to make room for something valuable. Lewis might reflect on the different seasons of life and the different companions God provides for each season. There are people who are meant to be in our lives for a specific purpose or for a limited time. And then there are those who are meant to walk with us for the long haul. When God removes someone, it can be an invitation to be open to new connections, to the people He is bringing into your life who will support your faith, encourage your purpose, and walk alongside you in a healthy and life-giving way. Don't cling so tightly to what was that you miss what God is bringing. So, how do we navigate this sometimes painful process? Firstly, don't blame yourself. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking you did something wrong. While we should always examine our own role in relationships, sometimes the removal is God's doing, not a consequence of your failure. Secondly, seek God's wisdom and discernment. Pray for clarity. Ask God to show you if a separation is His work or simply a natural drifting apart. Thirdly, process the grief. Losing a relationship, even a difficult one, can be painful. Allow yourself to grieve the loss, but do so with hope, trusting that God is working all things for your good. Finally, trust in God's plan. This is the most crucial step. Trust that God loves you, that He has a good plan for your life, and that any removal, however painful, is ultimately for your benefit and for His glory. Dr. Lewis, I believe, would emphasize the sovereignty of God and the importance of submitting to His will, even when it's difficult to understand. His ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are higher than our thoughts. So, if you are experiencing the pain of someone being removed from your life, take heart. It may be God's hand at work. Trust His process. Lean into Him for comfort and guidance, and be open to the new beginnings, the new relationships, and the deeper walk with Him that this pruning might bring. Thank you for joining me today. If this message resonated with you, please consider liking this video, sharing it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribing to the channel for more reflections on faith and life. And I'd be grateful to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Until next time, may you find peace and comfort in the loving hands of our God.